Hey, this is Jeff Santiago from the Orange Peel. Welcome back to Keepin' It Peel. Today I'm getting to sit down with Jenna and Duvall of Saying Sarah. We'll be talking about their upcoming show here at the venue and what new music they're working on. Come on in. Well, it's nice to have Jenna and Duvall of Saying Sarah here in the green room at the Orange Peel. Welcome to Keepin' It Peel with Saying Sarah. Well, obviously, been a tough year. You know, we don't need to talk about what happened, but it's good to talk about how we process that as artists, in my opinion. And I think it's an important thing to evaluate moving forward. So, did you find any silver linings for you guys in the process of working your way through this past year?
I think so.
Yeah, I think given the time to sort of reflect a bit is probably the most, concise way I can describe that. So finding a new sonic palette to write from, finding new things to sort of explore. You know, I spent some time earlier in the quarantine days of trying to just kind of explore some of the synth space and Moog type things, and then just kind of see what could come from that. So I don't think I would have done that if it was just shows and shows, that kind of thing. So I think it's also trying to like forgive yourself when maybe if you're not as creative as you thought you were. I think that was probably one of the things that I was super excited at first, thinking, oh, I will have so much time to write 2 albums in this small space, and then I was kind of left with I don't have anything to write, and then it slowly kind of became reawakened again, and you find new things to sort of play with. So yeah, it's been an interesting year for all of us. So yeah, but I'm happy to be back playing.
Yeah,
I think for me, my writing portion of the songs are lyrically and that kind of thing, in melody, but lyrically and melody wise, I think the quarantine, taking a step back and honestly getting to know myself better was a big thing, and something that I don't think that when everything's hustling and bustling, you don't really take time to do. Just like what he said, and I'm definitely one of those people that I prefer to be busy because, I don't want to fucking think about... Oops, am I allowed to say that? I don't want to... sorry, Mom. No, I don't want to think about stuff, but intrinsically and kind of sort of the part of the nature of writing lyrics and stuff is that they are dependent on what is going on in my world and in my brain. And so the quarantine helped me to... The silver lining of the quarantine definitely helped me to access those parts of myself and get more clarity on them and be able to write about them in a different way that I feel is not so, it's more empowering or more taking a step forward and trying to grow as a person and as an artist. I think that's what the quarantine helped me to do personally.
That's great. I mean, it's for me, it's been inspiring to sit down with artists and hear about that growth process and how people have been looking inward and having more time, because it is a hard thing. You have to, evaluate what's going on around you as a writer. You have to evaluate what's going on inside of you as a writer. And then, but you're also performers. So you're out there performing in the normal times, and it's hard to make the balance of all that. So it's been really inspiring to hear about artists finding their way. You guys still did release a single in 2021. Yes. So here we are on the back end of this, and you already have a single out, which is great.
Yeah, so that sort of came about from kind of what I mentioned a minute ago with, kind of re-exploring different palettes. And, over the holidays, things that are sort of kind of wound down from, because I've been working all through the pandemic as well, just for income and everything. So having that time over the holidays to spend time with, just writing itself, took some time off and played with some of the synth type things. And our dynamic is typically, where I'll come up with a guitar riff and then she'll put some lyrics on it. And this one was a little different because I've already built some little layers of stuff in my, recording programs, and then sort of had almost like a finished song. And then she's like, all right, I'm going to put some lyrics and some melodies on it. So after we had like that foundation kind of built, that it sort of it's kind of changed even since we released it. When we play it live, it's going to sound different because now we have a rhythm section that's live. And I think one of the things that I enjoy the most about performing live is that for me, it always sounds different than it would have if on the recording. Because a lot of things that I do, I'm the only guitarist in our project, so I'll layer, a lot of different guitars in there, and it'll sound really fat and beefy. And then, how do you recreate that? How do you find that middle ground where, like, I branch off and do a lead part, or
how does it translate to a live setting?
Vocal part, so.
That's a big trying to transpose something that was created through a computer and in your home and not practiced with a band when it was written, like it was written sans band. So trying to transpose and put that into a live setting where it still feels natural and it doesn't feel like it's missing things. That to me is like, that's why I'm excited to play this song, because I think that we've done that. And I'm really excited about like hearing, there's a couple of songs that we've done that with that I feel like people are going to be really excited to hear the difference between the live sound and what's on the recording.
That's great, because on that one you also have these layers of harmonies going on in that song as well.
Yes.
So was that all you on the recording doing all those harmonies?
Yes. I love doing harmonies. It's like I probably could just do harmonies like all the time.
Yeah, we're trying to lead singer.
I know. But there's something about a harmony when it hits right. It just feels so good. And you're just like, I just want to stay in that pocket.
It feels nice. Yeah. So and that's that song Down and Out.
Yeah,
yes.
Down and Out.
Awesome. Yeah. That's a great track. So and tell me about it. So now you recorded that and then you fleshed it out now with the band.
Yes.
It's going to be coming for the live show. Your rhythm section, a couple of familiar people.
Yes.
So you have Springs on drums and Lee White on bass, and
I'm so excited. It's like the
I'm
best.
familiar with them.
I know. Speaking of the vocal part, though, like something that's really cool is that I'm hoping works out well. Hopefully, Springs won't be. He created some pads for this, some of the harmonies, like I said, like transposing from recorded to live, and obviously don't have a harmony vocalist on stage, so. He's actually got some pads ready for that too, which I'm excited about.
That's great.
To help, give that bass line or give that like depth live as well. So I'm like, it's really exciting.
Yeah, I think that's what I missed the most about quarantine and how it sort of, changed how I bring, my stuff back into like the practice room, as it were, is like that collaboration piece. It's essential, man. Like I just. There's so many tools that we have out there nowadays where you can write your own music from start to finish by yourself. But then, when we bring a track that's, whether it be fully finished or we have a few other ones that we're going to be doing on this show that, we haven't even really recorded yet, but we've just kind of been, working on throughout the last year or two. But having that, like, hey, this is a song, what would you like to put onto it? Lee is great at like kind of crafting his own like bass tones off of that, and then Springs bounces off a different idea, and then you have all these different.
It's so amazing.
It kind of recreates the song, and then we have songs that we've been playing 5 years or more that suddenly you bring them into a different rhythm section or just
It's like totally like it changes the whole vibe.
Sort of, that's sort of where we kind of came about with our. I think our band name is sort of like a enigma to a lot of people. Like, what's this saying, Sarah mean? It's kind of like a nonsensical word, but it's.
Or they think I'm Sarah.
Yeah,
I've been called Sarah multiple times.
That's sort of our Pink Floyd joke.
Yeah.
Now. It's just which one's Pink, which one's Sarah. But no, so saying Sarah is sort of like it's a Western word that sort of means like to reinvent or to. That continuous life cycle, right? So, and we do that constantly. I feel like there's a considerable
we do
amount
change
of
our sound quite a bit.
This is your time. Look at your world. This is your life.
songs are still dynamic. So even going back to like 2019, I think, Mouthful of Sin.
Yeah.
It's just like you lull us in the beginning of that track, it's feeling just really comfortable, and it's just this really smooth beginning, and then all of a sudden you just kick us in the face. And
that's my favorite.
I love it too.
Love
It's wonderful that have those dynamics in there. It's beautiful all the way through. So you guys have been busy the last few years. I mean, going from, let's see, you did 2018 Dismantle, 2019 Mirage. You released this single, and obviously you guys are working on some new stuff with the band. So it's great to see this production and stuff that you guys are keeping some flow going.
Yeah, the goal is to sort of we have enough songs now to kind of sort of create another album to some degree.
Mm-hmm.
So nowadays the process is sort of single related more than like full length until you can kind of build that up as you release one track at a time, as it were. So we have the first one we released a couple months back, and then we're kind of getting acclimated to how things work nowadays, and then just sort of planning on going back in and releasing the rest of them this year. So it's going to be cool. And we got some new merch and stuff in the works too. So kind of learning or not really learning, but just getting back in that comfort zone of getting all your merch table back up, getting excited to be talking to people, hugging people, whatever.
I'm really wanting to figure out like what's my expectation, what is the reality of the music industry, and where do I fit in that, and how do I, if I want to fit somewhere else, how do I get there? And if I don't want to fit somewhere else, how do I become the best of where I'm at? So it's that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the background of the industry, it's still kind of the same, but how you go about putting yourself out there, building your brand has certainly changed the last few years.
Yeah.
So,
and I won't pretend that I know a great deal about any of it.
Everything moves so quickly, so it's just a matter of staying true to who you are and staying true to your work and yourselves as artists. And that's another question I would like to ask. I always find it fascinating when a couple are together, so you're living your lives together, but you're also artists together.
Yeah.
How's that balance work for you guys in terms of just your normal life and then that life that you are as an artist?
I think it initially just happened, and then I think over time,
sort of how we met.
Yeah.
So that helps, I think.
I think because of the fact that we met initially as friends and played music before we were a couple, as it were, that sort of laid that foundation for like finding space for each part of your life, and I think that's
the compartmentalization.
Yeah,
this is our sort of. It's like going to work with a coworker that you work with, but you're also dating. It's like maybe not always the best idea, but it can work.
Yeah.
And here we are, like 10 years later. I think it's worked, but it's definitely one of those situations you have to be mindful of because it is very close quarters, and it can go awry very quickly if you're not communicating properly or don't have your objectives lined out. And I definitely think we do hit, we hit like struggles sometimes that I think are dynamically or complex, with that situation. But I think at the end of it all, our passion still remains the same for what we do in music, that we're able to sort of compartmentalize that part. And when we're in that setting, it's more of like, okay, we're here, this is business, this is professional, this is what we're here to do, and we care enough about it that it's not even about like how do we handle it. It's like, no, we have to, because I'm not throwing this away. Like this is too. I mean, like I think we both care enough about what we do and what we write that it's like it's both an equal passion.
Like the beauty of our writing process is like we just kind of go at it. Sometimes it's like
we do argue.
Okay. And we
argue quite a bit.
We've got a song now after all that friction was kind of working stuff out.
I can't wait to hear what you have in store for us here at the Orange Peel on Saturday, June 26th.
June 26th.
You guys are playing a show with Harriers of Discord.
Yes.
They're going to open up for you. And it's a great lineup, great show. Anything special lined up for this? Or do you just, you already mentioned you've already sort of rearranged some things for the...
we have.
For the differences between your recordings and what you want to present live. So
yeah, I think that, this is our goal is just to make the best show that we can possibly make. You know, this space and venues like this size and in the community like this where we are, it's just great to have enough room to kind of give you that, you know, ability to bring all your tools to the table, as it were, you know. So we have things that, you know, we couldn't do in a really tiny space that we can do here, and we're planning on a couple of, you know, new sounds and new experiences and stuff like that. So that's pretty exciting. And then bringing Harriers on as well. And I mean, those guys are awesome. They've been around Asheville for a while now, and having, like, you know, two powerhouse vocalists kind of back to back is going to be a good show. So it's going to be, I'm excited about the show start to finish. I think hopefully everybody's excited as well to come see us. So.
Well, we are here at the Orange Peel. So Jenna, Ian, I want to thank you both for coming in and sitting down with me here. And for a nice session of Keepin It Peel with Sarah.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
We'll see you soon at the show.
Thanks.
Go.